Good morning and welcome to Fight CPS with Bob Pace. It's now uh, October 10th, 2025. This is a daily live stream that comes on to you twice a day from the Southern California area of California, south of Los Angeles, a place called Surf City, USA, on the West Coast. Now, my morning live stream is on at um, uh, 8 typically is on at 10 o'clock in the morning. This morning I come on at 8 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Betty Joe. Welcome to my live stream. And I hope things are better for you. The other day, it was so hard because I know how frustrating it was. Betty Joe is from Montana. She's a foster care mother. She has recently adopted a child a while back, a young boy who lost his parents Friday night. And they tried to put him up at relatives, but it never worked out. So Betty Joe stepped in and is taking care of the little boy. She also has been trying to fight to get her niece back. Her niece has been really uh, tough, and um, it's her brother's daughter. And the foster care people that have her niece don't want to give her up because of the money they get. This is happening in Nebraska. The child's very, very young. And they use the excuse that they're bonding with the child and it'd be detrimental to the child. Betty Joe has actually had the child with her on her way back to Montana. One time they agreed to have her take the child, but then they got things changed. So you're starting to find out. Yeah, Betty Joe's still waiting for a response from the caseworker. Um, it's really a hard, sad thing that CPS is so corrupt. It doesn't have to be in my neighborhood, it could be in a lot of other people. Now, as I was telling you, my shows are on at 10 o'clock, but it's 8 o'clock this morning. So I'm doing it early because I got some business I had to take care of at 10 o'clock. And so I got to leave here at 9:30. And so I'm on here like I've done every day, 7 days a week, twice a day. As I said, typically on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, 8 o'clock um, in the morning. So I I was receiving a message, so I don't know what happened to my show producer. But anyway, um, we have some more people that have come in here, and I'm glad that we have a lady called Courtney Brooks. Now, I do have some banners that I put up here. And one thing I do have to say that what I'm giving you to you is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney or a lawyer. This is for educational purposes only. I do have a lot of experience with CPS. I've been fighting them for 15 years. I too was a victim of CPS. Now, my attorney, um, Vincent Davis, who I worked for, is a lawyer, and he can be reached at 888-888-6582. And he'd gladly like to represent you. His office is out in Arcadia in LA County. His retainer is approximately $5,000. He's a $500 an hour attorney, if that's approximation. But it all depends on your case, how long your case has been going, the complexity of your case, and where it's located. Now, he will fight in every state. He can get a license in that state and fight for you. And I've given prices like in Georgia 125, Wisconsin 125,000. So all you need to do is call in and 888-888-6582. There's options down below with my banner. And besides supporting this channel, for $10, you can give a private text from attorney Vincent Davis. For $15, you can get a private call from attorney Vincent Davis. And for $25, you can be on a 30-minute live stream with attorney Vincent Davis. All you have to do is send via Cash Apps, Apple Pay, or Zelle to 310-308-7758. So that'll be on across the bottom. Now, to text a message, there's a format I like you to use. Please read the banner that's on the screen right now. Now, going back to Vincent Davis, he's been practicing law, fighting CPS for 39 years. He's a trial attorney. He also is trained, licensed, and educated in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's the kind of attorney you need. Now, some of you may think that your court-appointed or public defender will do, but that's not always the case. Now, I need to catch up with the people in my room who've sent me a lot of messages, and I appreciate it there. Courtney Brooke, I have no idea where you're from, but it's welcome you from Facebook. I just have to say I fought 7 years and got my kids in trial with 7 years and never give up. I understand, Courtney, and I'm so glad you do. Now, for somebody to ask you, who is Bob Pace? I'm a loving father and a husband. I have 43 years of marriage experience. I've raised 6 children, and 3 of my young children were caught up in the CPS mess. The older children had family lives of their own, but they were not caught up in it, but they were approached. And it's been really, my family, I've lost everything. I lost my forever hope. I can't get employment because of my involvement in CPS. And my family is so disjointed because of it. I was able to get back 2 of my 3 children, my young children. And I'm happy to say they're doing okay. They're hanging in there. And anyway, Betty Jo says, I was wondering why I'm not allowed to have Aurora. That is her niece. There's an explanation behind all this. Well, the explanation is simple. The foster parents want the money for having your niece. And try not to use first names of children, please, on the show here. So her niece is being kept by the foster parent because the Child Protection Agency in Nebraska is so corrupt. And there's no thing is called reasonable social workers. They're so bad that they ripped apart Bartley. They are playing games with a young woman who has 3 children. 2 of them are, one's is over age 18, one's just turning 18, and then she has her 5-year-old son. And she's been abused all her life growing up. Her mother gave her drugs all the time. She got pregnant, and she thought she loved the guy. It turned out the guy was no good. She met another guy, and again, that guy was no good. And then she was raped by a guy. And it's sad because it seems like in different parts of the country, there are pockets of people that have limited amount of education or knowledge about CPS, and they take advantage of people because they're low income. That's the common denominator I found from talking to over to 2,800 people to 24 countries, including every state in the U.S. And this is international live stream. And so Courtney, if you could tell me where you're from, that would be great. Um, I'd like to know more and so forth. And uh, another to be a guest, another way of interacting with our live stream is be a guest. All you need to do is send an email to me and pick one of my 14 shows. You say, I want to be on Bob's Sunday morning show or Bob's Friday night show or Bob's. You send me the email, I'll forward on to my show producer who will send you a link and she will uh, uh, get you to StreamYard, which is a software application I'm using. That's the format. And so I am here to help you. And I know that, for instance, we had Carrie Sampson in the other day, and some of the things I did are helping her. Bartley is being helped, but it's really a struggle. There are beautiful people out there who are misinformed and didn't know, and because their status being low income, they're taken advantage of by a agency that's supposed to take care of our children. Now, Dorothy Cook has sent me an emoji. Thank you, Dorothy Cook. Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina. She's from North Carolina. And um, okay, Courtney says, my baby was 18 months. He is 8 now. I got him last year. Um, was your baby taken 7 years ago when he was 18 months old? And now he's 8 months. I'm glad you got him back last year. What about your other children? What about your other children? And what's the status of the trial? That's a long time to have 7 years fighting. I like to know if you're still in family reunification or if you had your rights terminated or the children is an open adoption or anyway, Courtney, you need to help me understand your case so I can help you. Now, Betty Joe says, and to adopt her, why I'm not able to do that. Again, it's because the corruptness. 50% of the child protection agencies are corrupt. They retaliated. Why was my daughter at 12 years age encouraged to divorce her parents? There's no reason to divorce her parents. There's not one justification. But she was encouraged by the social worker who my attorney, Vincent Davis, caught her in a lie. She committed perjury in court. And she was so embarrassed that she wanted to retaliate. So her and the CASA worker and the judge encouraged the 12-year-old divorce her mom and dad, divorce her whole family, her brothers, her sisters, her grandparents, to change her name completely, to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, put the foster care people in there, and get a second social security card to take more funds from my retirement. The things I work. See, I've worked for 61 years. That's how long I've worked, and I have life skills. I started at the age of 15, and I can tell you a lot of things. Good morning, Bartley. We have your counterpart, Betty Joe, in the room, Bartley. We have a new person, Courtney Brooke, who's been fighting CPS for 7 years. I have no idea where Courtney's from, but we have Betty Joe from Montana, who still is very upset because her niece was injured in the care of the foster care mom down in Nebraska. And Bartley says, good morning, Betty Joe. Now, besides to be a guest, when you get that link, put it in there. The rules are simple. There is there's no profanity. We treat each other with respect in here. It's not a political forum. No eating or smoking on the show. And we do not use the names of children, judges, or social workers on the show. That's simple. Now, lastly, I'm going to put my phone number up, and you're perfectly welcome to call in. My phone number is 626 698 0990. And I would like you to call in, and that uh, number is my private line on my phone. I use Vonage. It's a internet streaming program that does phone. You don't have to have Vonage to talk to me. Just call that number and you'll be connected to my phone. So you have two numbers there. You have the number of my lawyer's office, Vincent W. Davis, who, by the way, does civil lawsuits and has won millions of dollars against CPS, suing them both in state and federal court. He also was a foster care youth himself, so he knows about the foster care system. So I encourage you. The banner below tells you the pricing for Vincent Davis, and it doesn't show the full price because that depends on your case. Now there is uh, a website below his name, Vincent W. Davis. There's a picture and then there's a website. And it's stan.store/attorney Need to always start off with HTTP ://www.stan .store/attorney/VWD. That has a lot of guidebooks and a lot of information and packages with Mr. Davis. Now, my phone number is up, so I encourage all of you. Bartley has talked, Betty Jo's talked, Courtney's new. Courtney's new, and I have no idea where you're from, Courtney, but I'd like to help you. I have two people from Montana, Betty Jo and Bartley, 54. And they've been on my show, been following me for a long time. Thank you, Lynette DeVrex, for the emoji. And I have a thumbs up from Lynette. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I know it's an early part of the morning of the show, but I've not missed a show. I've so far talked to Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Libya, and then in the continent of Africa, Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and the South Africa and its provinces. Up to Europe has been the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales, and then Denmark and Sweden. Across the pond, North America to Canada, its provinces. Then the United States of America and all 50 states have either texted or called in. I've also heard from Washington, D.C. Then south of the border, Mexico, and further south in South America, north of Brazil on the East Coast, has been Grenada. And then in the South Pacific, there's New Zealand and the land down under Australia and its states. So that's a lot of countries, a lot of people. And the United States, a very lot of people. I'm talking 2,800 people. They all have something in common. They're fighting a very corrupt CPS. You have to believe me. Fighting CPS is like doing open heart surgery. It's that complex. It's hard to navigate, and you need a real attorney. And if you're forced to use a court-appointed attorney, that's your only choice because of money. You have to make sure that court-appointed attorney knows that if he does not perform for you, that you can charge him with negligence, and you can sue him and call the state bar at the capital of your state and have his license suspended. So that's one avenue you can make that court-appointed attorney work for your public defender. Furthermore, you need to press upon him so he can make sure he relates to the judge that you're not guilty. If you're not guilty, don't admit that you're guilty. And if you're guilty of something, it's okay. You can have the behaviors changed or fixed. Studies have shown that the best parents are the biological parents. So if whatever you did wrong can be corrected, then through classes or programs, then so be it. That's what family reunification is about. Because the best parents to raise children are the biological parents. Are the biological parents. Um, Also, you need to impress upon your court appointed attorney to the court that you want family reunification. Make sure it's well sent there. You want a team meeting where you can put your need to be taken from you because they're in danger. They can be taken and put in with family members, whether they're in your state or in another state. And thirdly, or fourthly, you need to tell that attorney to make sure he informs the judge that you'll follow the court orders. There are court orders that you have to follow. Court orders. And if the judge knows you want to follow, that's great. And then lastly, you got to make sure you ask for as much as you can visitations, whether they're at Zoom or not Zoom, and whether they're supervised or not supervised. You need to meet with your child. You need to meet with them. It's very important that you keep the bonding going. It's very hard because social services will tell you you cannot talk about your case to your children. Hello, Leica Hudsonberg from South Africa. You text me, but my phone, the StreamYard, excuse me, the Vonage application, my office doesn't pay for the text messages, so I couldn't text you back, Leica, but I did get your Leica message. Leica Hartzenberg is from the Northwest Province of South Africa. She's been on my show. She's called in on my show. She's a 40-year-old woman that had a predator abuse her son. And she turned him in, but the police have done nothing. And so she has a very corrupt case there. And I'm so glad that you still are hanging in there, but I do have there. I also told you that you can contact Vincent Davis. He will talk to you. And I think he gave a reasonable price of approximately $250. But you can talk to him. He will talk to you. He will talk to you. I know you're suffering about your daughter. Okay, I know you're suffering. I know you're suffering. What's the latest news, Leica? What's the latest news? And Bartley, how's your ankle feeling? Is it better? Are you doing some of the things I tell you to do, Bartley in Montana? And Betty Joe, we want to get your niece back. We want to. You have to keep at it. It's so hard. People in here have been fighting for years. I know you've been with me a long time. Courtney Brook, I still don't know where you're from, but I'm glad you came into my room. I welcome you, Courtney Brook, but I want to help you. And Dorothy Cook, I know you're behind the scenes listening. Thank you for all you do for North Carolina. Thank you very much. And Lynette Devrex, I have no idea where you're from, but welcome to my live stream. You have court again on the 21st. Okay, Leica, you got to keep hanging in there. Don't fret, Leica. And you say your brother's become the devil. Well, that's the trouble with family members. I found out from experience from talking on here that family members are sometimes the cause of the roots of problems. It's sad because it all centered around money. That's why when you deal with CPS, you got to think it's open heart surgery. You need a technical person to defend you, somebody that's trained and educated. I'm talking about a lawyer. That's my rule number one. I have 5 rules, by the way. Rule one is you get a real attorney, not a court-appointed attorney. I had to sell my home, quick sell my home, my forever home that I worked 45 years for. CPS has lost one of my children, messed up my family, taken my forever home, and prevents me from getting a job. And I need to get a job because I am really stretched, really thin. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this live stream because I've been doing it now for over 2 years. It's day after day, week after week, 14 shows a week. And then it's month after month and year after year. And I've not let you down. I've been here every day, twice a day. Twice a day I've been here. Sometimes I'm here at different times because of family commitments. But I'm here to listen, to help you, to help understand. And Leica says her mother died. I remember that of February 8th this year. Brother and sister now fighting over her testament. I'm involved in nothing. Yeah, brother and sister, family members will fight over people's assets. It's sad about families. And, you think families, you grow up and the mother and father do try to show love. My mom and father, who have passed away during this, before my CPS mess, were always there supportive of me. They're beautiful parents. My dad was a military man in the United States Navy. He had over 35 years in the military. He rose to the rank of Commodore in the United States Navy, and he retired as captain. And my mom was always supportive of them, and they started out life real meager means. He served in World War II, in Korea, and Vietnam with distinction. But they taught me a lot of things. At the age of 18, I moved out on my own, not because I had to, because I wanted to thank my mom and dad so that they can enjoy their life. They still had two younger children to take care of. And my youngest sister, who even some of my family members are estranged over CPS. CPS is a stigma that affects your relatives, your family, friends, your whole life, your neighborhood, your friends. People think badly of you in CPS. CPS may be a hiccup, and there is a need for it. There is a need to have CPS to protect our children from neglect and abuse. It was started in 1962 by an act of Congress which told social service you need to protect our children from abuse and neglect. They already were protecting our animals a long time ago before our children. The Humane Society was started a long time ago, long before children, the child protection system. And I call it the system because every state is different. In my county, Orange County, is called the Child Protection Services. In LA County, it's called the Department of Children and Family Services. But every place is different. In Prescott, Arizona, it's called Department of Children's Services, DCS. In Richmond, Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. And there's a beautiful person in Richmond, Kentucky, Faye Manley, that is struggling as a single parent to help her special needs child. She had a really rough bringing up as a young child and as a teenager. And she is very ill right now. And my prayers go out to her that she gets better. But there's crazy things. There are crazy things that will happen. The local police in Richmond buzz our house with a drone, trying to look into the privacy. Once you're involved in CPS, you'll be involved in CPS as an adult. And that's what's happened to many of you children. Here's something I want to tell you. If you are turn 18, you need to purge your record from CPS involvement. If you're not guilty as an adult, you got to make sure you purge your record. And I think after so many years, you can purge your record. I think after 7 years, you can purge your records of CPS. If you don't, they keep a database on you. And sure enough, they'll come and pick on you. They love to pick on people at low income because they know you won't get an attorney like Attorney Vincent Davis, who is the local CPS are afraid of him. And a lot of the CPS don't know him. I'm sorry. It's hard. It's hard in life. My wife, I'm really worried about her in this mess with CPS. It really has hurt her so bad. And she's not been the same in the 15 years since my fighting CPS, her and I fighting. And losing a daughter has been the most tragic experience. She's 23 right now, but the last time I saw her was August of 2015. When they forcibly took my 3 children, they weren't in danger, they're in school. They lived in a beautiful home with their own bedroom and bathroom. They went to excellent schools. They're involved in programs like AYSO soccer and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. And they they are they're messed up. CPS messes up. My kids were put in a group home. They were together, which was important. But the group home was run by Boys Town. Boys Town decided to come out west to California and bid for running homes. And the Orange County Social Services has a group home, that they acquired, which is good because there are people that need it. But Boys Town is geared up for kids that don't have parents. They never worked with kids that do have parents. So they teach the kids not to show any emotion, put your hands at your side. They try to alienate the kids from the parents. The whole goal of CPS is to collect money. And the way they get money is by keeping the children in custody. They are paid $20,000 per month per child in Orange County Social Services. They get another additional $35,000 from the federal government to the child protection system if they have the child adopted in foster care. If the child is of special needs, they get additional $10,000. It's all about money, and I'm talking about trillions of dollars. Billions go to the state, and from the state to the county, millions go. It's an unlimited resource of money. It's an unresourced thing of money. Now, Leica is explaining some things in chat. Leica says, my brother threatened me. He'll make sure I lose my child if I don't sign his documents. That's sad that family members are trying to take away the inheritance from her mother. In South Africa, it's called a testament. But her inheritance, her brother's saying, if you don't sign the documents that you gives up your rights to the money, then we're going to make sure you never see your child. That is sickening. The same thing is happening to Felicia, who is Cruel Do a Trick, who comes on my show from Oxnard, California. She has a Ventura County CPS case where 2 babies were taken from her last September. She was taking care of her mom in the home she grew up in. And her mom, she was a caregiver for her mom. But her brother stepped in, kidnapped her mom. We do not know where her mom is. And then evicted Cruella, who is Felicia in real life, evicted her. And it's sad. It's sad that if family members would do that. I've seen that so many cases I've heard where sisters and brothers turn against one another. Where do they learn that? Family is about love. We need to love one another. And I see the same thing happening in Congress. And why I bring that up, because it irritates me that it's impacting our families with their children because they need the money. But we have two groups of adults. They're blaming each other. They're blaming the guy that now has returned the hostages after what? How many years? 2 years? They're blaming the guy. He's the scapegoat. He's the one that, they think by suing him 100 times over or trying to say he's a bad guy. He's not. He's not. In fact, he has created an organization called the Department of Government Efficiency, commonly referred to as DOGE. It's investigating all the government entities because there's a lot of wasteful spending. He has closed our borders. He is rounding up the people that are illegal in the United States. Well, it's hard to tell whether that illegal person is a good person or a bad person. And there's probably some people being brought up that should not be sent back. But he has a mandate to have stopped 4 years when the new administration took over from Trump, and everybody was let to go in. The cartel brought in hordes of children. We have so many children and so many families that have tax social services for food and welfare. I mean, it's shelter, food, transportation, education, medical. They are taxing us. So he's trying to put a stop to all that. Not only is he working on the home front, he's working on the international front. He's making the world a safer place. He has tried to bend over backwards to help solve the Russia case, the Russia and the Ukraine. But he realizes that Putin is so bad. He is so bad. We have people like that need to be erased because their sole prerogative is to take the children of Ukraine, and turn them into Russian soldiers. He's kidnapped over 1 million children, and he's brainwashing them into be soldiers so they can be shot up. He takes countries, young men from North Korea, and have them slaughtered. It's ridiculous what's going on in this world. And I'm trying to stay away from politics, but it does affect us because we need to go to Congress to stop this child protection system being so corrupt. That's what DOGE is all about. That's what DOGE is all about. Anyway, like it says, why must I sign documents that my brother set up himself? You do not sign the documents, Leica. And what you do is you document everything he does to hold against you. The court said my daughter can be replaced January 14th back to me. Well, you take that court order and you show it to the judge. It never happened. The welfare worker and my brother made sure my little girl was not returned with lies, false accusations, and lies and lies. Well, you take your little daughter, you take the court papers, and you show it to the judge. You show it to the social worker, which you have. And I know it's a deep pain I've ever experienced. I think I'm suffering from PTSD with the loss of my daughter. She is 23 years old. My son, who at 25 got married, had a wedding. My son invited me to the wedding, but my daughter and my wife's sister, who caused a lot of the problems, and my oldest daughter were not invited. They didn't come to the wedding because I was there. And my son did not invite his mother because he has confused some issues. And now my son of 25 and my wife are at odds with each other. My youngest son is fighting demons too. It's sad what family members can do. I was not invited to the reception because my daughter of 23 would be there. And my oldest daughter would be there. She's 36. And my wife's sister, who's in her 50s, would be there. Heaven forbid. My daughter planned the reception for for her brother. She did a great job, I heard. She did a great job, I heard. I wasn't invited, so I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. And all I know is it's really tough when families turn against one each other. And I know the pain you feel, like I know what heartache is when you lose a loved one. You fall out of love with somebody, or somebody leaves you, or you lose a mother or father, or heaven forbid you lose a child. Having a divorced daughter is like losing a child in real life. And I'm glad you still have a dog that cares about you. It's important to you. And I know you wake up and fall asleep. I know how it is. And I'm so sorry. The judge and the welfare of my brother and his wife feel like they're all are one family. They're not family. They're taking advantage of your situation, like a. Now, I've been talking here for 41 minutes, and I'd love to have you all call in to 626 698 0990. And um, how did your brother use your child? What happened? You said that you fought that my little girl be taken from the house for protection. Well, isn't that where you met the predator, the pedophile, and be placed with a family? Now my brother used my child. I'm so sorry that you can't even trust family members, Leica. It's really, really hard. And Bartley and Betty Joe, I know you're listening or not listening or frustrated, but please talk to me, Betty Joe and Bartley. Please help me here. I need to hear from you. Courtney Brooks, who came on early this morning. I still don't know where you're from. I want to help you. I really want to help, implore all of you. You know, it's why I do the show is because if I help one person save their child, then I feel like I've done something good. I had a couple that talked to me on Monday, and during the whole week, they're on my show continuously, helping to fight and save their child. And it was successful at the end because they got a lawsuit going. They're winning their case against CPS, and their child is safe now. But what had happened was the child, it was from Santa Cruz, California, and this couple were accused of medical neglect because they refused to have the child at first have its appendix taken out because they wanted a second opinion because they didn't think that was the problem. The pain the child was receiving was a 4-year-old child, was in her left abdomen. Appendix is in your right side. The first doctor, all they did was sonogram. So they can't see the bone tissue. What it was is that the daughter had gallstones and they're being passed out on the left side. And it's very painful to have stones so big that they stretch the uh, tubes of the gallbladder and it causes pain. And they went to a second doctor, and again, they instilled it was appendix. So they went along and had the appendix removed. Then that night, the daughter comes home and she's still in pain. So now they finally do x rays. They see it was gallstones. So they got that fixed. And on Friday, the social worker had mud on her face when she showed up with the attorney that helped her get attorney, and she got her daughter back, and she has a civil lawsuit against the Child Protection, the Department of Children and Family Services of Los Angeles, California. It's all public record. If you don't believe me, you can check it out. Problem is, when it's $1 trillion business, lawsuits can be easily settled with a lot of money. And it is sad. It is sad. But I know that I do help people. I do help people here. People have come back. Leica will tell you I've helped her. Bartley will tell you I've helped her. Betty Jo will say so. There's Margaret King in California. There's David Halago in Santa Maria, California, who's fighting in Santa Barbara. There's so many people. There are indigenous people, people that are the first Native Americans, the Indians, the Native Americans of the United States. They're the First Nation people I've talked to in Canada. That's how they call their Native Americans as First Nation. Anyway, I've helped out. I've helped out people on the Rosebud Reservation, the home of the Lakota Sioux, one of the homes. There are several reservations out there. The Black Hills is the home of the Lakota Sioux. The Black Hills. And that's not the only Indian tribe. There are lots of tribes. Oklahoma has tribes. I've heard from a lot of Indian families who have a law that supposed to protect them. In 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act was passed. And that basically said that Indian families can take care of their own if they're Indian children. And usually, typically, an Indian child is declared when they have 25% Indian blood in them. And they're registered with that tribe as a Native American Indian. And if so, the CPS workers are instructed to turn over the children to the tribe who will take care of their own. That's the ICWA law. There's so many different laws. You have to really study it on the internet. And I said my rule 1 was get a real attorney. Rule 2 is document, document, document. You need to make sure you have documented everything. Get yourself a notebook. Get you dividers. Organize your documents. You need to have all your court papers put together, all your social workers' papers put together, all your drug testing, all your parent certificates that you completed, all your programs you completed, like domestic violence and stuff, any testing you had to do, psychological tests, those kinds of things. You need to put all those in the notebook. You also need to start 2 important documents. One is a journal that'll help you address your journal daily to your children, because when the case is over or your children turn 18, they'll be able to read it. Read your thoughts and your feelings. Journals are good ways to keep track and good documentation. 2, you need to establish a timeline of all the incidents. A timeline of all the incidents. It's simple. You take a notebook paper, devote 3 lines for each incident. Line number 1, you put the date and time of the incident, and whether it was at a location, you put the address, the location, the name of the location, or it was on the phone, and you put the phone number. Then you put the people that are involved on all that first line. The second line is a summary of what the incident was about, a short summary, a 1-sentence summary. The third line is the outcome of the incident and how the incident, um, you know, was resolved. If it's not resolved, leave it blank, and that will tell you to come back later and fill it in when it does get complete. Because in 6 months' time, you won't remember everything. That's why you have to have a timeline. The journal will help you too, because the journal will record your thoughts and feelings as you go through this horrible, horrible mess. And I know it's hard. I wish I'd done those. There are 5 rules I wish I'd followed. I never would have had my children stolen. Besides documents, you have to send self-serving emails that recap what took place. You send it to the social worker or whoever the person that you're talking to. They'll serve as a paper trail. You say, it's my understanding from court today the judge ordered this, this, and that. You send that off to the social worker. There it is. It's a paper trail. So you need to document it with emails like that. You need to take pictures, record voice conversations. You can go to public places to meet with them, libraries, Starbucks, McDonald's, those kinds of, even a ballpark or someplace in the open outdoors, and you can record them. And when you have public places, you just tell them, I'm recording everything, I'm documenting everything. And that way they have no excuse. They may say, you can't do that, or I have to curtail. What are you trying to hide, social workers? What are you trying to hide? Now, rule number 3 is probably the hardest one because they come to your house. They always do. Within 24 hours of a alleged report, either by a professional or a layperson, and professionals are identified as teachers, principals, counselors, doctors, nurses, policemen, firemen, um, caregivers. Those are professionals. They're required by law to report neglect or abuse. But 50% of the time, they're wrong. 50%. The other group of people are all the rest of people, families and friends and relatives, the guy at the store, the girl at the store. Those are lay people. And a lot of times they do it as retaliation against one family or another. They don't like the way your dog is barking. They don't like your yard overgrowing, so they'll make up stories. Or a family member wants to take possession of something. It's sad. It's really, 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 really sad what they do. And they get it right 25% of the time. They're wrong 75% of the time. And I know that from statistics. 50% of the time they get it wrong. And 50% of the time these entities are corrupt. So when they come knocking at your door to investigate, don't answer the door. Be quiet and take your children and go into the closet. Because they're going to break in if you open the door, meaning that if you open the door, they think they got permission to search your home and take your children. By keeping the door closed, you can protect yourself. They have to have only 3 ways to get in your place. 1, you have to have permission from you or some other family member opening the door. So if you don't open the door, they can't get in. If they have hear sounds of trouble, like a child crying, or there's loud anger going on, or fighting going on, they're going to break down the door. They're going to come in. And thirdly, they have to have a warrant. In order to see a warrant, they have to show it to you. If you're quiet to open the door, they don't see the warrant. Now, a warrant is a court order issued by a judge, signed in wet ink, and then that signature is stamped by the clerk. It's a raised perforation of the signature, so it's legit. It's got to have the date of the working court. It can't be a weekend or a holiday during the work week because it's false. It's got to have the name of the person they're accusing of and the charges, neglect and abuse, or both. They have the names of the children. Then they have the instruction on the warrant. They can come into your home and search, or they can talk to you, or they can take your child. Do not give them your child. If you screw up and let them in the home, if you're outside, all you have to do is ask them, is this a legal matter? If they show you the warrant, look it over. If it's legit, you have to follow the court order. You have to follow the court order. You can tell the social worker, and they'll be accomplished with the police. There's an intimidation factor that you have to worry about, the intimidation factor. They're supposed to protect the social worker, not intimidate you, but the social workers use them. And police, for some reason, have to come out with friends. Anytime you see an accident happen or something out, instead of one officer investigating, suddenly there'll be 20 officers. And I know that a lot of policemen are needlessly killed, and it's important. It's important. Anyway, I have been speaking and getting close to the end of my time. I'm going to take down my phone number because no one has called in. I'll be up again tonight. or this afternoon at 4 o'clock. But I am going to put something else up called the Department of Government Efficiency. It's DOGE. Now, DOGE stands for the Department of Government Efficiency. It's has a website. You want to go look at it. It tells you what they're doing, who they're investigating, and what they're finding out. I know firsthand that Orange County Social Services is being investigated by DOGE. They're behind the scenes checking because I received a phone call from a social worker and DOGE supervisor was on the phone. They also will offer you a job at DOGE, a career job, not an hourly job, a career job. They also have 2 phone numbers that work. The area codes are 202, which is the White House. They also have an email that you can email DOGE. It's all there on the screen. I'll leave that up. Now, I am close to my time. My time is over. It's 9 o'clock. So I have to get going. I have an appointment at 10:10 I need to go to. So I want to thank you all. Leica from South Africa, thank you and God bless you. I want to thank Bartley from Montana, thank you. And Betty Joe from Montana, thank you and God bless you. And Courtney, I still don't know where you're from, but God bless you. And all my other listeners that have been in this room, and all my family members that call me Uncle Bob or whatever. I want to thank you all. You all are very beautiful people, and I want to thank you very much for making a part of my live stream. I'll be on again at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Remember, Mountain Time, you're 1 hour ahead of me. Central Time, like Texas, you are 2 hours ahead of me. Eastern Time, like Ohio, you're 3 hours ahead of me. And over in the United Kingdom, you're 8 hours ahead of me. And in Europe, you're 9 hours ahead of me. And Africa, you're 9 hours ahead of me. So God bless you all. And like it says, yeah, you need to read the Bible and believe in God, you know. And I appreciate all that you're saying there, Leica. Thank you very much. It's your belief in God. Now, we do not want to use, well, okay, Leica. I know that. Okay, so I'll end the show with you. Don't give up. Don't give up on your children. And there'll be a brief video that will follow the end of my show. All right. So God bless you all. I'll see you at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Take care and do not give up. I love you guys.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.